Okay, so I'm gonna show my sketchbook here. Um, yeah. A few nice phrases. A love note. These are sketches for a tentative narrative comic graphic novel. I'm not sure what I want to do. I've been into chess recently, and I really wanted to represent the pieces as characters. Haven't really done anything more than these sketches, but maybe someday. This is a sketch from a camping trip I did with some friends, and there was this really viney, gnarly tree that just looked like it had eyes inside of it because there was these really dark spaces in between the vines of the bark. Oh, this is a more detailed idea for the bishop character. I imagined him just wearing a ton of flesh as his wardrobe. This is a piece for a commission. I don't know if I have the final piece somewhere. I probably should have thought about that. More sketches for that. I was a little existential in this moment. Didn't know if I wanted to do commissions, but I felt compelled to finish this one, so my partner Sarah drew this as her own version of that commission. These were some sketches for my sort of dealing with a tree that got cut down that was in our yard, and it was on the edge of another person's property, so they cut it down, and we didn't really have a say in it, but that was pretty tragic because I really liked that tree. These are more ideas and rough sketches for that narrative piece called Nowhere that I want to work on. Sort of gonna start with like a figure sort of coming out of their own grave and then meandering through the world. A note from a friend. It's nice. A sexy ghost for Sarah. This year I've gone through a lot of pretty awful dental work, mostly from neglect, my own fault. But it's been pretty horrific, and it's I'm in a better space now. But man, was it a long, painful road full of anxiety. Oh, this is more of, I was hanging out with a few friends in their studio, and we were kind of spitballing a few ideas for my narrative thing, and I just wrote down a few quotes that they said to try to get me in the right mindset. My friend says headache, like headache. I thought that was funny, so I wrote that down. This sketch drawing, I guess, is the first in a few in this book that I drew without a pencil sketch. Usually I primarily start with a pencil sketch, get my rough ideas out, and then do a more refined one and then ink over that. But for some reason, I just decided to ink, just straight ink, and try my hand at some hatch line work to get some shading, because I'm kind of, for some reason, trying to work away from pencil shading. I just like the darker contrast of just black and white. This was just a fun sketch. I'm in a group chat on Instagram with a few artists that I only know on Instagram and not very personally, but one of them mentioned that they were gonna start calling every Saturday Satan Saturday, so I drew a sketch for that. Only once. Haven't done it since. Oh, this was for the October Chrysalis that Chelsea Wolf and their friend Blood Milk started, sort of like a Inktober, I guess, but their own list and what they wanted to do with it. And foreshadowing, I only got 11 in. Didn't finish the 31 drawings. And here they begin. Yeah, beginnings rise. This was a callback to that drawing sketch that I wanted to do where the person's crawling out of their grave. I posted these on my Instagram, which I'll probably just link in my description of this video once I post it. But I tagged a song in each of my posts, and I just wrote them down here just in case. This one is a more personal one. I was kind of in a negative mindset that day, or that month, I guess. But these are some personal masks that I actually have and represent me, and these two were made from a friend, and I physically have them. I can show you them. I don't know if it's like too big for the camera, but yeah. That one's the first one he made me. Let me grab the second one. Yeah, so these are very personal, very intimate, very meaningful to me, and made with a lot of love and emotion, and I represented them in that drawing because I was kind of like feeling outside of myself in that moment. Speaking of that friend, this is the guy. This is the person. He made them. He made those masks for me. Good friend of mine. Goes by Kassam. And this is us. One night we actually all hung out, had a fire on his property, and it was really nice, really calming. I really like the idea, the imagery of human-like trees, or human figures, sort of. Oh, that's been out of focus for a while, hasn't it? Sorry. I'll flip back to this one if you didn't see. Yeah. Yeah, something about like rooting to the ground and being stuck in a shell is really scary to me. This is an old sort of iconography for me for the hole in the chest, because I used to feel that a lot. I used to relate to that motif a lot, of being empty and hollow and not having anything to give, just taking. So that came back for that. This one was I work on a farm, a vegetable farm, and that we have this giant brush pile that sort of just accumulates over the year with branches and other burnable objects, and it just stays there until the season sort of ends, and then we can burn it, and it's called the burn pile. And I sort of imagined, like, what if someone was in there, sort of like a little nest. This is a representation of my deceased uncle. He was very uplifting of me being an artist, and he always wanted to see my drawings and stuff. And the last memory I have of him was he was very sick, and he was sitting down on a couch, and I was with him in his living room, and I had my hand resting on his knee, and his knee just felt so skeletal, like I could feel his bones. And even at a young age when that happened, I think I was maybe 8. I don't know for sure. But I just knew something was off. I knew he was dying. So yeah, that's yeah. This one is sort of my identity crisis, I suppose. just being amongst so many identities, masks, metaphorical or real. Just, who am I today? How do I know who I am in any given moment? It's a lot sometimes. It feels overwhelming. This one, for kinship, I sort of went like family lineage, family tree. And there's some sketches up here that I was trying to like create sigils for the representation of like this one's father, this one's mother, grandmother, that kind of thing. So I sort of incorporated my family lineage into these symbols, into this broken wall. And this one here is the symbol for uncle, and I've had 3. One I never knew because he died before I was born, and then this one that's kind of cracked is sort of an homage to the one that passed away when I was young. I have a third one who's kind of AWOL. I don't really know where he's at or what he's doing. Hope he's okay. This circled one is supposed to represent me, and then everything under that, like cousins and nephews and stuff. But yeah, so this is sort of like I don't know who this character is necessarily. Sort of an unconscious father figure, I suppose, that I didn't physically have. So yeah, maybe it's just like the idea of what a father would have been, or maybe this is like the distant attachment that I feel because I never knew my biological father, and I've had just like many different figures in my life sort of take that father mantle but not really live up to what I was expecting. So maybe that's what this is about. This one, introvert, extrovert, I was sort of playing with the idea of having two identities, but it be one person. If you notice, this is like self-insert from before. That's kind of, yeah. But I didn't like this at the time, so I redrew it. But now that I'm looking at it again, I like this one better than the one I did. Go figure. So this is the one that I ended up doing. This is a preliminary sketch for the next one. Loathe, man. I love this band a lot. Their music is really powerful. But yeah, this one, there's just the introvert sort of being subdued, lower, sort of taken advantage of by the introvert was kind of like my sort of how I feel about social situations, because I sort of struggle with social anxiety, and a lot of group activity or being out in public or surrounded by people or anything like that is pretty stressful and uncomfortable sometimes. So this is kind of how it feels when I sort of have to become that extrovert. I have to like subdue my introverted self and sort of take over for a little while until I get exhausted. Yeah. This one, this so this has nothing to do with this drawing, but I drew this in another sketchbook a long time ago. And it was, I woke up in the middle of the night, it was pitch black, I couldn't see, but I had a little sketchbook next to me and I had a pencil, so I just drew this face with squiggles, like just not even how I normally sketch with like fluid lines, but just like squiggles, circular scribbles. And then I looked at it in the morning and it was this like skeletal face with like sunken eyes, but it had pupils and horns. And yeah, I just like remembered that while I was drawing these and then put it there from memory. I don't even know where that old sketchbook is. I'd have to dig it out. But this is sort of that social anxiety again, but more of like my extroverted self is exhausted, so it's just me being introverted and trying to, seclude into myself, but everything around me is telling me that I can't. This was, I think I drew this. I started drawing this, but I didn't finish it for this actual October drawing prompt. I finished it right at the end of last year, the beginning of this year. And it sort of became like this New Year's identity for me. Like all of these masks that this creature has are from previous moments, and it's sort of sitting upon that last year, sinking it into the ground so that this new creature can become the present, and you have to pay attention to this, not this anymore. But it's sort of like antagonistic because it's holding the events of the past above you while it's hypocritically telling you to move on. This is a sketch for a very large painting I did, sort of as part of a diptych with a friend of mine, Kassam again. We each made massive paintings about this concert we went to for clowncore, and it was actually such an amazing experience. It was liberating. I drew like a little flipbook sketch thing of that entire night. So we drove there pretty early in the day to Boston. As soon as we got there, there was tons of people just everywhere. I also forget that it was close to Halloween when we went, so everyone was all fucking dressed up and wearing crazy shit, and so were we, so we kind of fit in, but we didn't know that at the time. I really had to piss, so I was like, let's go to that building, I need to pee. And so we made our way through, and then we found this bar down the street from here. There was like nobody in there, but it was really cool. There was a window, people were just walking by. These two guys were just having a non-stop conversation. We just got a few drinks, hung out for a little while, killed some time. And then we walked around Boston because we didn't want to sit in the bar for like 3 more hours. But it felt so desolate. Like there was a few people here and there kind of walking around in groups, but like everywhere we went was just like kind of empty. Nobody was really there. It felt really liminal and bizarre. And then I had to pee again on the walk, and small bladder, I guess. I don't know. And so we found this construction site under a bridge, and this guy, Moach. You want to be on camera? That's my cat, Moach. Come on. No? Okay. He's gonna be distracting now. But so this guy was just on his phone, and I asked him if I could use his porta potty, and he was like, yeah, whatever. And he just kept talking on his phone to my friend because I'm just out there. And then we kept walking down the street, and there was a Halloween party going on, like in a little block party thing going on, and it was really wholesome, but my friend and I just felt so out of the loop. Like everyone there seemed like they knew each other. They were neighbors, friends, a lot of families and games and stuff. This live band was playing Michael Jackson's Thriller. That was cool. And then we went to this Disney or Pixar or something. I think it was Disney. They had a like interactive exhibit going on, but you had to pay ahead of time to go, and we didn't. So there was these tables that just had like pencils and pens, and you could just draw if you wanted to. That was out of focus, I'm sorry. So we did that. We drew self-portraits and just kind of left them there. And then we went into the waiting line for the concert, just chilling. And then these four guys were dressed up as Macho Man Randy Savage, and my friends and I have a lot of in-jokes about him just because the way that man was pretty funny and hilarious. So seeing that was a highlight. We just had to hang out and talk with them for a while. That was really fun. And then the concert began, and to our surprise, DJ Driver was the opener. He's if you don't know Clowncore, they have an album called Van, and he's the driver of the van. I might be misremembering the name of the album, but whatever. But he was amazing. He just came out with a laptop, pressed play on his audio files, and just sat there. Yeah, it was awesome. Took a sip of whiskey or something once, and everybody freaked out. It was amazing. We were playing fucking. Someone was playing fucking Magic or something on the ground. Everyone was just. It was so ludicrous and fun. And then the clowns came out, man, and their porta potty was up there, and everybody lost their fucking minds. It was amazing. Just chaos. Such chaos. And I remember at one point I'm wearing like a sweater, a jacket, this mask. Oh, here it is. Hold on. So we made sort of felt masks on a balaclava because we wanted to be sneaky and wear them in, because last concert we went to, they wouldn't let us wear masks, so we like wore these, folded them up as hats, and then folded them down when we were in there. And it's sort of a homage to this one, but it's got a clown nose. And so we wore those, and I was just dying. I could barely breathe, but absolutely worth every painstaking breath, and it was honestly the best concert I've ever been to. Got knocked down once, shoved, flew through 3 people, landed straight on my back. I just stuck my hand straight out, and I got picked up by 3 guys. It was awesome. Everyone was so kind but so chaotic. It was awesome. And then at the end, everyone cleared out. It was just as soon as they were done playing, it was just empty. And I remember him and I were just kind of sitting there breathing, talking. Someone wanted to take our picture, which was interesting. If that person ever sees this, I'd love to see that. If it's posted somewhere, I have no idea. But yeah, it was amazing. We were just screaming at the end, just full exhilaration. It was amazing. And then we went to the bar side to get some waters, and there was a big mirror, so we just kind of like reflected literally on what just happened and ourselves, and that was great. And then we left and went to the parking garage across the street. Sort of just took a moment, looked down. It was cold. It was so hot inside and it was cold outside. It was so refreshing, and there was already so many people ready for the next concert. I don't even know who it was or what they were going to see. But yeah, it was like a nice like double reflective moments there. And then there was just a nice calm car ride home. Yeah. That was probably the highlight of that year for sure. So this is the sketch for the giant painting I made for that night, which I can't show because it's like 5 feet by 4 feet. It's on my wall behind me, but I can't. Maybe I'll take my camera off and show you at the end. I don't know. More preliminary sketches. This is close to what it looks like. I sort of changed a few things, but yeah, just like huge amalgamation of bodies just everywhere, and the stage was so vibrant and like red, and the porta potty was just this really deep blue contrasting it. It was awesome. This is a drawing of me and my partner Sarah, and we're both farmers, so I still haven't inked this, but I really want to go back and finish this. Just like a nice like forest scene, or just plants and just nice and calm moments. Bug out bag. Oh, I didn't even know what this phrase meant or what it was. A friend of mine, Gumhead, he was on a project called Bug Out Bag that he wanted to do, and he mentioned it to me, and I drew up a little drawing for him, and he loves it. I was so amazed. I was like, oh hell yeah, cool. So I gotta ink this for him. I want to do some changes, add some more personal stuff like our masks. He has a mask too. It was just really, really cool. But yeah, maybe I'll finish that this year. Just testing some pens. Some pages deserve to be folded, right? Oh, this is more sketches for the chess idea. I really wanted to do like sort of pawns as like these pawns like slaves, or just soldiers or people or figures forced to like march forward blindly and just get massacred. So really negative look on chess, but whatever. I don't give a shit. That was the phrase for last year for sure. My friend and I had such a long conversation in a car one night, and we just came to this conclusion that we don't give a shit, but in a positive way, like you only have so much, and that you can give, or that you can receive, or that you can maintain. So, everything that doesn't matter overall in any given situation, just focus on what you can. I make pottery for I own a business called Forbidden Forest Art. My partner and I, Sarah, do it. We make pottery and we sell it. So I was sketching some ideas for what to make for the holiday season. Oh, this is more sketches for the clowncore painting, like layouts. I wrote on the edges of the canvas and how we wanted to show it in a gallery if we did, and we ended up doing that in Hartford, which was really cool. But yeah, some pottery ideas for forms and stuff. This is so these are my masks and sort of my identity in chronological order. My first one was this really blank blank mask. Sort of found that identity when I was in college, when I felt hollow, hence the hole in the chest. So I felt hollow. I felt sort of like I needed to be quiet and restrained and not bother anybody, take up space. And then Kasam made me this mask, which gave me huge confidence, and I was really honored. And that sort of became my identity for a while, like go out, do things. But it sort of got rejected because every time we went to a concert with this mask, it like kept getting rejected. And then this one came out, and it was like the antithesis of everything. It was like my pent up anger. It was, you know, I could be loud, I could be vocal, I could do things that I originally thought I should hold in, which was nice. It was like a nice release. And then this was my 29th birthday. I drew this. So last year. No, this year. The beginning of this year. Sorry. And it's all of my masked identities, but this central one is sort of like I was trying to figure out a new identity for that moment, and I sort of like this one here, but it's not definitive yet. But you know, the unknown future, I guess, is what it represents. These are other ones too. This is the one I went to Clown Corps as. Basically just a self-portrait. That one is. This is a mask that I started making, but never finished. So maybe that says something that it still hasn't been finished. I would like to finish it, but you know, who knows. More chess ideas for. I wanted to make like ceramic figures and actually make a chessboard. Maybe one day. Just commission ideas. Oh, my friend Lawrence, aka Bunko, on Instagram, YouTube, and I think Twitch. I forget if he's Breakfast on Twitch, but he's an awesome dude. I got to know him for a few months now. I don't know exactly when we started. I found his YouTube on a whim, and I really liked what he had to say. He was really vulnerable and genuine in his videos, and his artwork is really cool too. I love seeing what he does. He has such a fluid, loose style. It's awesome. But yeah, he inspired me to. Well, he motivated me to make a video of my own, so here I am. Cheers to you, man. More chest stuff. Oh, this is not chest. This is I made ceramic incense holders. So I made these like figures that you like stab with the incense stick. Commission idea, like layouts. There's this Instagram page called Art Talk, and they were doing a community-driven thing where artists could draw a stick figure, and they would share everyone's stick figure in a massive post, and they ended up doing that. And I think they made it as a website. But yeah, that was really cool to be a part of, and I think I was on like a Elden Ring kick during this time, so I sort of made it like a Elden Ring lore stick figure. Sort of had the idea that like they walk forever in this endless valley, and then they sort of have this blighted, calcifying disease that just eventually slowly stops them from moving, and they sort of turn into these like crucifix looking structures because their spine and their legs sort of mesh and their arms fall off, and their ring of a head just like dangles around them when they're finally done. This was my drawing for the commission list. I did like a sketch, I did a line art, did a full shading and stuff. Yeah. This was a commission for Coraline. Pottery stuff. This is more in-depth chess stuff. I don't really like any of these now. But I like the idea of a canvas being rolled up as the board. That's cool. This is a sketch from my business card, and this is what it actually became. Yeah, forbidden forest art. Shameless plug, I guess. Sorry for the shaking. That's the core line commission finished. This was a commission from a friend of mine from college. It was just like a really fun, silly thing. He was super stoked about it. It was cool. My friend Kassam is really getting into customizing wardrobes in really intricate ways, and I'm sort of inspired to make a poncho one day. Projects that I haven't done yet. This is the drawing for that card. Oh, this was yeah, March Madness, Wormwood Art Club. That's the group chat that I'm a part of. They did a drawing prompt thing that I took part in. It was based on fears and phobias. None that I specifically have, but just the prompt list, and I just kind of went with it. And I like that I did all these rough sketches. Oh, I forgot to say, these pieces I did also without any pencil sketches. So I just went in with inks for all of these, and that was pretty new for me at the time. So I'm pretty happy with how a lot of these came out. This one I didn't like how that was going, so I drew it again. These all sort of subconsciously come from how I was feeling at the time too. Like, you know, isolated, lonely. This one was sort of like, am I on the right path? Everyone seems to be doing their own thing, and it's hard to judge if everyone's doing the right thing, or what should I do, or should I do what they're doing, and you know, just kind of looking back instead of looking forward. More loneliness for sure. This one I like a lot. I ended up redrawing this on a separate page. Fear of ugliness. This is sort of supposed to be like, hey, he like peeled all his flesh off because he doesn't like himself or something, and I like the sketch a lot better than the actual drawing I did, which is interesting. I redraw this one too. Yeah, I was getting mad at this pose. I was getting frustrated redrawing it. But oh, here's that tree one again. I really like how that came out. Yeah. This is me. Kassam and I. Kassam sort of he created his own language, written and vocally, for the past years, decade. And we sort of combined the written one over the years and sort of refined it down to a thing. So I was just trying to like figure it out for me, because he writes a little differently than I do. So this is more me. Whenever you see like this incoherent symbols and language, that's just it's a language we made up called Agajnal. This is a drawing that Sarah did. It's awesome. I love that she adds moments in between my sketchbooks like that. It's really nice. This is the finished piece for that. I really love how that came out. I relate to that a lot, honestly. Just the self-image and, being frustrated with identity crises, and yeah, it's rough. Oh, I wanted to do all of those drawings as sort of like a print, but as like a sort of a playing card style, but not really a playing card. I have one here. Um, and I sort of sell these amidst my pottery business, and I write a little, you know, I guess it's a poem, but it's just kind of like my mind's rambles at the bottom of them for what I was feeling when I drew those pieces. This is a sketch of a painting that I really want to do. My friend Kassam and I, he has this monument painting that he just finished, and we were kind of back and forth about like what my monument would be. Yeah, this sort of looks like a ship, but I didn't expect it to look like that. But that's kind of interesting now that I'm seeing that. Cockroaches, right? Who needs them? I'm sure there's a purpose for cockroaches, right? I don't know. Something lives because they're alive. But a neighbor of mine had a cockroach infestation, but I don't know if I believe him because he's an idiot. Oh, these were sketches for a commission for a hot sauce label, which was so fucking cool. That was such an awesome commission to work on. Really a lot of free reign on the design. He was really cool. This is a little sketch of my first ceramic sculpture that I ever made from high school. It was a severed hand with a little tiny skull in it. More sketches for that piece. The labels for the hot sauce. Oh, which I have actually. Forgot he sent me the final ones. They're really reflective, so I don't know how good that's gonna. This one's a little easier to see, but it's kind of small. So, but yeah, those are the finished pieces, and that's the hot sauce label. If you you know, if you like hot sauce. My friend Gumhead again. He wrote this short story that was such a fucking trippy cerebral mindfuck. And there was like a forest of corpses, and I really wanted to draw that, represent that. Some plot ideas for my nowhere project, but those are tentative at best. More drawings of me and Sarah. Really want to do I want to do this but bigger. Layouts for the Forbidden Forest art pottery business for when we vend with the 10 tables and stuff. Love note from Sarah. Oh, this is so there's a coffee shop called Samia that's in Hartford that my friend Kassam, his friend Elijah owns, and they were sadly closing, so we went to visit for one last time. My friend Thomas, me, and Kassam. So I drew us there, and then Kassam drew us from his perspective, and then Thomas drew us from his perspective, and then Elijah drew this, and it's just so cool. He was like, I haven't drawn in so long, like this is really cool to be drawing again. So that was really awesome. This feels really special to have. So begins the dentist trauma drawings, just blood, mouth, pain, everything. I was listening to a Peter Draws video on YouTube, and he was mentioning that he went to an art show or a gallery or museum or something, and he said there was this really empty liminal room that just had this one thing in it, sort of like a shape, but like it was just kind of far away, and it was so interesting. So I don't know, I was trying to draw what I heard him say. This is a quote from a dream I had about my stepbrother, where I walked into my room in the dream, and he was laying in my bed, and I was like, "Hey man, what do you want to do today?" And he just casually looks at me, sitting in my bed, laying in my bed, and he says, "I'm doing it." Yeah. Words to live by, right? My friend Kassam also draws sometimes like his inner circle of friends, us as robots. He sort of has this like world of robots or cyborgs, and so he was like trying to figure out what my cyborg would look like. I'm not that bulky, but you know, big bulky robot. It's awesome. So I love this guy. Shut the fuck up, tipping his hat. This I had an idea for making a sculpture life-sized, where it's this giant pedestal that has an imprint of a face that, in my head, you would walk up to, kneel down, and sit your face into it, like press your face into it, and it would sort of like release either hot wax or something and sort of make a cast face mold of your face, so it's like a mask. Oh, this is a drawing from my first, when I went into the dentist for, I think, a root canal, or oh no, I needed teeth pulled, I think, 2 teeth, and I was just sitting in there for a while before they actually came in, and it was really awful. Like, just the anxiety building up, waiting for them to come in and do this awful procedure was horrible. I wanted to jump out that window. And then this is the morning before my root canal, which I've had a really awful experience with root canals when I was younger, so I was dreading this day. It took a lot for me to even show up to that. That was, yeah. So I sort of drew this. I referenced an old sketchy drawing of a sort of a funeral, at-home funeral, like a deceased person, and then all the loved ones and the doctors there, and yeah, that's how it felt. That's really how it felt. It felt like I was dying and I was on death's door. I know it's over dramatic now, but at the time it was crushing. And oh, that's the last drawing for this book. Yeah. Thanks for checking this out if you did. All right. Bye. See you later.